All right, guys, here we go. We got another PSA number 4 during the vintage special that we're getting ready to send out. So we're going to do a quick video here. Got another 20 going out. This will be the 4th set of 20 that I'm prepping. And then I might actually pre-fill out some PSA submission forms for cards that are still in the mail, because the form says good for 30 days, I believe. So I'm going to try to game the system a little bit and see if I can get one more PSA order in after this for discounted prices. We'll see if they let me do it. Otherwise, I want to pay full price anyway. So we're going to try it and see what happens. Anyways, starting off here, we've got a 1960 Topps Yogi Berra. I got to adjust my light here so it's not causing such a shine. There we go. This is pretty good shape. Not super perfect. Corners are fairly sharp, but not pointy razor sharp. So I'm going to guess a 6 or a 7 on this guy. Surface is pretty good, pretty clean. Don't really see any scratches, no wax or anything. I already cleaned it off. So I'm going to stay a 6 or 7. We'll see what happens. Next, we've got another 1960 Norm Sherry. There's going to be a lot of Dodgers in this one from the same mail day and everything we've gone through before. I picked out some of the nicest, cleanest ones with the highest upside here. So this Norm Sherry is very sharp, very crisp. Centering is just a touch off, both vertically and horizontally, but it's not too bad. So based on how sharp it is, how clean and sharp the image is, I'm going to guess a 7 or 8. 7 or 8 makes me nervous, but that's my guess. 7 or 8 on that one. Now we got an Ed Rackow. This is another sharp one. Not quite as sharp as the last one, so I'm guessing 6 or 7 on this one. Still very clean. Very good looking. It's not quite as sharp, but it is a little bit better centered. So 6 or 7 is the guess on that one. Now we got a Carl Furillo. Again, centering is not ideal, but this one has very razor sharp corners. Overall clean. I'm going to guess 6 or 7, even though centering is the worst of the ones we've looked at so far. It's also one of the sharpest corners, one of the cleanest picture quality. So 6 or 7 is the guess on that one. Next, we've got another 1960. I believe this is the last 1960. Tommy Davis. This one is also razor sharp, but this is now the one with the worst centering that we've looked at so far. However, it is probably the cleanest and sharpest out of all of them so far. It's just off-centered. So 6 or 7 on that one as well. Moving on to Ted Williams. I'm sending it in, just because it's Ted Williams and it's a 71. Gotta love the 71s. Gotta love Ted Williams. I know the centering is really bad, but I'm going to hope that because of how sharp it is, we can still get a 6 out of it. Maybe a 7, but I think 7's stretching it. So 6 is the guess. Now we got a Bill Russell, another sharp Dodgers card that I found. I'm going to guess a 6 or a 7 on this one. I do believe because the centering is good and it is very clean, it's probably going to be more towards the 7 side. But, everything I've heard about PSA is don't expect anything good. So we're going to go with the 6 or 7 still, even though it is very clean and very well centered. Next, we have a 71 Don Sutton. Surprise, surprise, another Dodger. This one's not as nicely centered as the last one. It is similarly clean, though, so 6 or 7 on that one. The Russell, I would lean more towards the 7. The Sutton, I would lean more towards the 6. We got a Claude Osteen. It's another very clean one. Not super well centered. It's pretty similar to the Sutton, so 6 or 7, we're going to lean towards the 6. This next 71 is the by far sharpest one. Not perfectly centered, but it is pretty well centered. Because of how sharp this thing is, I am going to guess 7 or 8. This one is very clean. One of the cleanest 71s I have seen. There's virtually no chipping anywhere on this card. If it weren't for centering, I would honestly be guessing 8 or 9. But 7 or 8 is the guess due to centering being slightly off. I honestly am going to lead more towards the 8 on that one as well. Now, next we have a 54 Topps Harvey Haddix. Pretty clean. Overall, just a little bit of softness to the corners. They're not super, super sharp, but they are still very nice. I'm going to guess a 6 or a 7 on this one. The left to right centering is solid. Top to bottom, there's not quite as much gap on the bottom as you normally see on these cards, but still in pretty solid shape. There is a small stain here that I didn't notice before. Due to that, I think I'm going to change my guess to a 5 or a 6. We're going to go 5 or 6. I was going to guess 6 or 7, but we're switching to 5 or 6. Next, we have a 59 Topps Johnny Padres. This one is quite possibly the cleanest 59 as far as edges and corners go. Picture quality isn't quite as sharp as the Jim Gilliam that we saw on the last video, but the edges and corners are definitely nicer. So I'm going to guess a 7 or 8 on the Padres. Front and back centering is solid, and the picture is very nice. So we're going to guess 7 or 8. Next, we got a 74 Bob Gibson. This is not the first 74 Gibson I've sent in. This one I'm guessing 6 or 7 on. It is very sharp. It definitely is sharp enough, clean enough to be a 7 or an 8, but centering is going to knock it down to a 6 or a 7. Now we got a 71 Bob Gibson. I love Bob Gibson. I've sent more Bob Gibsons in than anyone else so far. Yet again, another card that is very, very sharp, but the centering is awful. So because of centering, 5 or 6 is my guess, even though this card is almost as sharp as that Jose Pena one that we looked at. The centering is not so nice, but because it is so clean, so sharp looking, we're sending it in anyways. Next, we have a 59 Topps Gene Snyder. This one actually is not quite as sharp and nice as the Padres that we're sending in. So I wrote down 7 or 8 as my guess. I think on the fly I'm going to change to a 6 or a 7 here. We're going to go 6 or 7. We're going to change my guess from what I wrote down to a 6 or 7. Next, we have a Willie McCovey 69 yellow name. I'm going to go 6 or 7 on this one. This is another card that is so clean and so sharp that it would normally probably land a 7 or an 8, but centering is going to knock it down to a 6 or a 7, I believe. Now we got a 75 Bill Buckner. This one is really nice. I'm sure you guys are aware 75s are very tough. This is a very clean 75. I'm going to go with a 7 or 8 on this one. Centering is pretty solid. It's a very clean, sharp corner card. So we're going to go with the 7 or 8 on that one. Next we got a 71 Carl Yastrzemski. This is another pretty sharp card. Wasn't quite as sharp as I thought it was when I saw it online, but still pretty good overall. I would say a 5 or 6 on this one because of centering. 5 or 6 is the final guess. 5 or 6. Next we have a Tony Oliva 1975. This is another very clean one. I'm going to go 7 or 8 on this one. The Buckner, I'd probably lean more towards the 8. The Oliva, centering is not quite as good, so I'm going to lean more towards the 7. But 7 or 8 is my guess. And the final one, the big one, hopefully you've stuck around to watch. we've got a rookie 1957 Frank Robinson. This card looks really nice at first glance, and I'm honestly, I don't care what grade it gets. The price I got it for, it's going to be fine. My guess is a 3 or a 4. You're probably wondering why a 3 or a 4. That looks better than a 3 or 4. I agree. It does look better than a 3 or 4, but right there, just to the left of his hat, you can see, if you get the light just right, there's a little bit of a, it feels more like a wrinkle than a scratch, but it's more perfectly straight like a scratch than a wrinkle. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, but because the rest of the card is so nice looking, I still think we can pull out a 3 or a 4, even though we've got that wrinkle or scratch, whatever that is. So 3 or a 4 is the guess, but honestly, no matter what it comes back at, I'm going to do just fine based on what I paid for it. Thank you so much again for watching. Hopefully you've seen my other videos recently where I thanked you guys for all of the support. I absolutely blown away by how many views and subscribers I've gotten already. As of the recording earlier tonight on my thank you video, we're at 2,600, a little over 2,600 views, 57 subscribers, 208 hours of watch time. And I just cannot believe it after only 2 weeks. I've got so many views and subscribers. I honestly was expecting to be toiling away with, you know, me and my wife being the only one watching my videos for quite some time. So you guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and give me any comments below on who your favorite card is. Which one do you think is going to be the best grade? Which one do you think is going to be the worst grade? Thank you again. Until next time, we will see you guys later.